Hey there everyone, my name is Andrew, and this is Canadian Starships. Let's see what's on the bench this week. This week on the bench, we are continuing the journey of preparing the two Enterprise E's for lighting. Now, there's something that I want to make very clear that you have to understand. We are doing two of these Enterprise E's back to back, side by side, which means I am still working on cleaning out windows on the second of the two kits. You see, there are 2,366 windows on each of these models. So back to back, all at once, I'm clearing out 4,732 windows. That takes a while, especially if you want to get them as good as you can. So I am still in the process of getting some of those windows cleaned up. So there's some things that we can't do on that second kit until those windows are done. So once this video goes up, I'm going to be putting my head down this weekend and trying to get all of that done so that we don't have to worry about windows anymore. So that's going to be what I'm doing as soon as this video goes live. But we have other things that we want to do to get this kit ready for lighting. We did some of it last week. This week we're going to continue. So let's get right at it. But before we get started, why not take a moment and click the subscribe button. And while you're here, click on that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. So I'm not sure if you can tell what this is. There's clamps all over it, but it is the first of 4 pylons. It has the wires through, like I showed in the last update, but I have cleaned out the other half that the wires were not attached to get all of the appropriate clearances, and it is now glued together. It will stay clamped together for quite a while to make sure that it is securely fastened together. Once all 4 pylons are fully assembled, then I will go through and deal with the seam work and adjusting the area where it joins the secondary hull so that it all looks nice and flush and clean when it goes to be assembled. And here we go. We've got 4 pylons fully assembled with the clamps on, the wires going through. Those are going to sit for a while now to make sure that the CA glue has a good chunk of time to set up. Now that all these pylons have their wiring run through and are ready for refinement, I am turning my attention to warp nacelles. Now I have completely and utterly destroyed this nacelle. Now it's not one of the ones that are for this project. It's actually a discarded one that a previous client had just given to me when they picked up their kit. And I've taken these pieces, these parts, and I have chopped up the front. The front has been chopped off and then sanded down on my belt sander to the point where the separation wall will be installed. The reason I've done this is because I want to get an exact sizing of the wall. So I will take a measurement imprint from this piece, which is exactly where the wall is going to sit, and I'm going to create a wall piece that's going to perfectly fit this area for the lighting. Now, if there's anybody that would like to design a 3D printable piece that would actually sit nicely in half the nacelle, because you have to install half the nacelle first, get all of your wiring in, and then put the other nacelle on, just the way that the kit's designed. If there was anybody that wanted to design a sled that would fit into here, that included this wall and provided basically a bed on which you could install all of that lighting, that would be fantastic. But for now, I'll be creating my own scratch build separators and platforms for holding the lighting. So I'm going to take an imprint from this, get the exact sizing that I need, and make up some parts out of styrene that will go in there to separate the lighting. So the way I ended up taking the shape from the nacelle was to put half of it down on the styrene and then trace the inside of it with a pencil. Then I would just take the other half of the nacelle front, put it down right where it belongs next to the piece I traced out, and trace that inside, and it gave me the full traced shape that I needed, which I then cut out. I've got the first light separation wall in place temporarily just for sizing. So I've literally just hot melt glued it a dab in place just so I could get it in there and make sure that everything fit. Now each one of these that I make is going to have to be handmade, so it's going to have to be individually fitted to the nacelles that it's going to go into. I'm going to mark it that this is the port nacelle on kit A. So I will mark that, and I'm not going to fully install it until I'm ready to put the Bussard lights in, because the leads for those LEDs will actually go through this wall, and that'll be a great way to mount them in there, and then I'll be able to get all of the wiring on this side and out the pylon. But this one is sized, ready to go. I've got 3 more of these to make and size up and make sure that they fit properly. The first of the secondary hulls are glued together, and they are elastic band just while the glue is curing. And the most important part about the secondary hull to prep the entire ship for lighting is to get the mount in place. Now, it's just a copper T right now, but I'm now going to slice open the top and bend these parts down so that they will fit nicely into, let me just see if I can get this here, into the secondary hull. And it's a little bit tight on camera. I'm going to have to clean that out a little bit more. But essentially it'll go in there and the bottom will come out, and that will be where it mounts to a post on the stand. And by opening this up and flattening it out, it'll create a really good bonding surface with the model. 2 of these copper T's are now split down the top. I did that with my plug-in Dremel and the grinder disc. Now, if you're going to be doing this, please make sure that you take proper precautions. Wear proper eye protection. You do not want a little bit of metal, a little metal flake, getting into your eye. That would be very painful. So please, if you're going to do this, anytime that you are cutting through metal, please make sure that you are wearing the appropriate eye protection, because you don't want to trip to the ER to get a metal shard taken out of your eye. So I'm going to get these flattened out, and they will become the basis for the armature for this kit. Here's a look at the 3 stages of the copper T's. This one is still complete. That one will go into a model down the road. This one is sliced, and this one is fully opened up. Now I put an arrow on this one because I've already test fitted it inside the kit here, and let me just get that inside on camera. Never goes the way you want. All right, so it fits in there like so, and then the post goes in. Now I'm going to epoxy this in place, but as I do that, I'm going to make sure that the entire kit, and to post, here's the post, or it's not the post that's going to go on, but it's just a working post. So I will make sure that with this in here, it is fully level so that the ship sits level, or just with a slight rise on the saucer. That can be nice sometimes. So I will have to make sure that it's fully aligned as I epoxy this into the inside. And then once that's in there, I'll be able to take it on and off the stand as necessary for transportation or whatever. And this is going to create a really nice area for the wiring to go down to the base. And to round things off this week, here is the secondary hull attached to a post. Now, this is not the permanent post. This is not the permanent stand. The post is not level. This is just a working base, so I can put it somewhere while I do work on it. And no, the secondary hull is not attached to the primary hull. It has just been sat on there for you to be able to see. So let me take it off the stand here, and you can see the mount inside. Now, I will be adding epoxy in there to fully secure it. It's just got its first round epoxy on there, just enough that I can demonstrate and show it to you. And here it is on the underside, and this method really does give you a good solid mount. Some kits require a metal armature to go up through the kit, like the Don Choco Enterprise D that's on the shelf right now, but this is small enough and light enough that a really good mounted copper T on the inside there is enough to really securely hold this model in place. We don't have to worry about the saucer falling off. There's such a large area for the saucer to connect to the secondary hull. That's not a problem. So we're all good with that. And that's going to be it for this week's update from Canadian Starships What's on the Bench. You know, we still have a ways to go before we can get lighting in, but I'm really hoping that at some point next week we can see some lighting. And I've heard from Danny, the programmer, that we might actually be able to demo some warp engine effects. Will that happen? I'm not sure. We'll find out. Now, it's absolutely pouring outside. There's all kinds of lightning and thunder, so I could lose power here at any moment. So I want to get this wrapped up so I can get the video out to you. I hope that you've enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure that you hit that like button. If you're new to my channel or you haven't done so yet, why not hit that subscribe button today? You'll make me very happy if you do. But for now, my name is Andrew, and this is Canadian Starships. Have a great day, everyone.